What's going on, people? Welcome back to Nick J. Francis' channel once again. Arsenal have just lost at the City Ground in Nottingham. Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0. And what a disappointing way to end the season. And we always seem to end seasons like this. You know, I was going to say this is our season summed up, but it's not. You know, we'll at the end of the season, I'll do a video about how I grade the overall season. The Premier League campaign specifically has been very good. Obviously, we're second. And this game confirms what we already knew, is that, you know, Man City are winning the Premier League, and this game has pretty much handed it to them and not pushed them to the final day, which is a shame. It's obviously a huge step in the right direction from finishing fifth last season, but it does continue a trend. We're the only team that has had repeat times where we've been top at Christmas and not won the league at the end of the season. Now, there's a lot of different reasons for that. Of course, we can play an easier run of games early and then leave some of the big games later, and that can have an impact and all this different stuff. But once we gain that momentum towards the end of the season, we always struggle to see the goal through. Whether that goal is top four, winning the league, whatever the goal is, we always seem to just fall away a little bit at the end of the season, and it's been an issue for years. In past seasons, I think it's come down to squad rotation and squad depth. And I do think on this particular occasion, this season, it's come down to one key crucial injury, not one, two key injuries that people always talk about as one. Everybody is talking about the injury to William Saliba, and nobody is talking about the injury to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu would be the natural replacement for William Saliba, and would be a replacement and some cover for Ben White. As a result, both of them being out means that we have to go down to our third or fourth choice centre-backs in Holding or Kivior, and Ben White has zero cover apart from youth team players. And so that puts a lot of strain on the squad. That's where I think that we've lost it. But on this performance and the last week's performance, I've been doing content on AFTV and DR Sports, so I haven't been posting on this channel. So thank you to all of you guys that have subscribed from my appearances on there. It means a lot. A road to 1K. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by, throughout the summer. We'll see what we can do. I don't know when. I don't want to set a time on it. But, you know, you guys would have heard me talk about the performance last week and the performance this week, and this is really lots of talk of the word bottling and choking and all this different type of stuff, but this performance today is possibly the worst. Brighton but it has to be Brighton last week was the worst. But to not see a reaction. Okay, you're not playing for the Premier League title. You thought you were going to be playing for the Premier League title, and now you're not. I understand that. I get that. But to not see a reaction after a 3-0 loss at home. We had more possession today. We had more of the ball. We had more shots. And they had one clean-cut opportunity and they scored it. Morgan Gibbs-White, I thought, was fantastic. I thought the ref was not great. But that's all excuses, you know. We're Arsenal Football Club. We've been at the top for a very long period of the season. Thomas Partey was back in, playing a strange role, a bit of a Caicedo-esque role, sitting between a DM and a right back. I'm not sure quite what he was doing. And I'm not going to say the wheels have fallen off, because it's so difficult, isn't it? Because you can't be too dramatic one way negatively because we finished second. But you can't be too dramatic positively because we finished second and we didn't win anything. So you're just stuck in this middle ground of, you know, it's obvious that the players have got their slippers on. You know, they're ready for the beach, they're ready for a holiday. And it's been a long, hard-fought season. Lots of criticism in the media from these guys. They deserve a good long break before going on pre-season tour. So I hope that they enjoy that. But to go out this bad, I mean, we're already talking about this, and the season actually isn't over yet. We've got one more game to play against Wolves. And to see these guys not fighting till the last possible day is a real shame. Even just for personal pride, for the fans on an away day. The big problem that we have, I want to talk about the game specifically, but it's so difficult to talk about the game because I can't watch this game and watch this performance and not think about the transfer window, and not think about the win over Newcastle, and not think about the loss against Brighton, and not think about what could have happened had we won the title, and not think about, it's so difficult, and think about what could have happened if we rotated the squad more, and all these different things. So this video is about the game today. But there's nothing to say on the game today. Do you know what I mean? We lost 1-0. It was a poor performance. We're going to come out and do a video again after the Wolves game, and we'll probably lose, and it'll be a poor performance then. And it's a real shame. A real shame. I think the players should hold their heads high because they've had a good season, a good league campaign. But for me as a fan watching the game, how do I not be frustrated? How do I be positive after watching a performance like that? You know, we just watched Man City beat Real Madrid 4-0. 4-0 against European royalty. That shows you the levels. You know, on this game in particular, one of the things that we struggled with, which we've struggled with all season, especially when Thomas Partey isn't there, because we play well without Thomas Partey, but there's one thing that we really lack when Thomas Partey isn't there, and that is the physical presence. We lose so many physical duels. And yes, and we're bringing in players like Fabio Vieira, Jorginho, technical players, and that's typical Arsenal. It's been our problem for the last decade. When we go back and look at the Invincibles team, we've got a good balance of technical players and physically strong players. Players that are willing to battle. You look at Manchester City, they have a great balance of that. I mean, they're not the only club. You know, United has a little bit of a balance, but you know, we need to get some players in that are physical presences in that midfield. Players that can win duels, players that can win headers, players that can battle. That's why there's so much excitement about Rice, about Caicedo. Are these guys world-class Ballon d'Or winners? No. But that's what this team needs to go to the next level. They need some physical presence, you know? And then the battle to win second balls. So we need extra physical presence in all three departments, I believe. We need a more physical, maybe a more physical right back. Maybe we have that in Tomiyasu, to be fair, because he wins a lot of headers. He's very good in the air, set pieces, etc. We need a more physical midfielder, someone that's going to come and win shoulder to shoulders and win challenges, who can play football as well. And we need a more physical target man at number 9. You know, Gabby Jesus is very lightweight. When we play, whether we play them together in some games or whether he comes off the bench in some games, Gabby Jesus starts on the bench and comes off the bench, we can rotate it. But up top, when he goes against a team who is big and strong and physical, I'd rather Nketiah. You know, Nketiah doesn't have the technical ability that Jesus does, but he will fight. He will fight every day, in every game, for every minute. And for Jesus, he's just playing for fouls. And when he plays like that, he gets frustrated and the game gets away from him and it's not good enough. You know, if most teams want to play us at football on our best day, we can play them off the park. But even like you look at City again, they've got an Alvarez, but they've also got a Haaland. They've got Rodri. You know, they've got Ruben Diaz. They've got big, strong, even their right back, Kyle Walker, very strong and physical. We need to find that balance. We've got a great footballing team. We need to find that balance, because for me, I know the mentality was off. I know Nottingham Forest are fighting for their lives and Arsenal are fighting for nothing. So the game on its own doesn't mean anything. But pride, you know, actual pride, not being able to get shoved off the ball. It doesn't matter what I'm playing for. Man, them are not shoving me off the ball so easily. It's something that we need to address in the summer. I'm confident that we will. The club is making the right types of noises and of sounds about this, but you know, we should never really be dropping that mentality. And the same problems that are persisting with Arteta not wanting to rotate Saka. Saka was poor for large periods of the game. Not the whole game, he had moments, but he was poor for large periods of the game. When we saw the subs warming up, we thought for sure Saka was going to come off, but no. It was Jesus that came off, you know, and it's like he can't get dropped and he's getting run into the ground. Now, again, that's all of these problems are things that can get addressed in the transfer window, but it was a joke today. It was a joke, you know, and the reason I'm not, you know, going too crazy about it is because I know it's a mentality issue, not a footballing issue. And to be honest, I don't know what's worse. You know, would you rather have a team that can play football but has a weak mentality, or have a team that has, you know, has a team that has a great mentality but can't actually play football? I don't know what's worse. We need to address all of these things in the transfer market, and then we can come again and start picking up trophies consistently. I don't care if it's an FA Cup, consistently be in the Champions League again and get back to that. But really poor stuff today. Really poor. I hope that they can come again. If they've got this type of mentality now, I know it's a long way till the beginning of the season. Next season we've got all summer, but by the time it gets to the summer, can they rejuvenate themselves? You know, we saw Liverpool's team kind of burned out and they need a rebuild. That happened over 3 or 4 years. this team's only been really competing at the top level for a season, battling for top four last season. They can't be burned out already. So we need to bring in the new blood and we need to address all these areas. Today was really, really poor and a pretty unacceptable performance. And so was last week against Brighton, a very, very unacceptable performance as well. Completely played off the park both times. Well, today we weren't really played off the park, but today was more frustrating. Brighton played us off the park. Today it was like we gave up. Do you know what I mean? I could say Brighton actually outplayed us and were the better team. Today, not that Forest didn't outplay us, they won the game, so, you know, fair play to them, but we just gave it up. It's much more like we gave up than, you know, they played better than us. Do you know what I mean? That's what's really, really frustrating. So we need to address these things in the summer transfer window, and we need to rejuvenate the energy. And I think new signings will do that, and I think that, you know, I think the players will know. The players will know that this isn't good enough. And, you know, God knows what's going to happen at Wolves. But we need to see some sort of reaction, at least for the fans.